All right, we're going to do page 2 on your worksheet now. So the instructions say we already know that if we take the F1 generation from square 2 above or 3, we're always going to get the same genotype from every single offspring because there are only recessive alleles in square 2 and only dominant alleles in square 3. But what about square 1? Those plants are not the phenotype the wizard wants. They all last for 1 hour. But are they the genotype he wants? Can he breed them together and get all 5-hour plants? Let's see what happens if we breed the F1 generation, the 4 pairs of alleles in the boxes, together from square 1. What will the F2 generation look like? Okay, so square 1, the F1 generation all came up with capital T, little t. So if we breed them together, we would make a Punnett square like this. Now again, this goes back to Mendel's pea plants. Remember, after he got himself a pure set of purples and a pure set of whites, he wondered what would happen if he bred those two together. So he bred them together, just like we bred together in square 1 our pure 1 hours and our pure 5 hours. Now, when Mendel did that, he got all purple plants, right? Just like we got all 1 hour plants in square 1. However, what happens if we breed the F1 generation? Let's see. Let's do the Punnett square. So here we'll bring T across, capital T, and bring capital T down for this box. In this box, capital T comes across and little t comes down. In this box, little t comes down and capital T comes down. And in this box, capital T comes across, or little t comes across, and little t comes down. Oh, interesting. What do we have here? We have a mix of a lot of things. So if we bred that F1 to that F1 generation, they were heterozygous, both of them, okay? What are our possible phenotypes? Well, let's look at this one. What is our phenotype here? It's capital T. If it's capital T, then it has to be 1 hour for its phenotype. So let's put a 1 there. This one is capital T, little t. So what is the phenotype? Again, we have a dominant allele in here. So that has to have a phenotype of 1 hour. Okay, this box here, capital T, little t. Again, a dominant allele, 1 hour. Now let's look at this box, little t, little t. So what's the phenotype here? Guess what? That's a 5 hour. So our possible phenotypes are that we would have 3 1 hour plants and we would have 1 5 hour gillyweed. So there are our possible phenotypes if we bred those F1 generations together. That's a pretty interesting Punnett square, right? Now, what are our possible genotypes? Well, that's pretty easy. We just look at this, okay? We're going to have 1 capital T, capital T. There's only one there. However, if we look at this, we're going to have 2 capital T, little t's. And we look at the last one, we can have 1 little t, little t. Okay, so this is where Mendel got that percentage. Remember that 75% to 25%, 3 purples to 1 white flower? We're seeing the same thing in our gillyweed. Okay, so when we breed the F1 generation together, if we breed pure dominant, homozygous dominant, to pure recessive, homozygous recessive, we end up with offspring that is 1 homozygous dominant, 2 heterozygous dominant, different alleles, and 1 homozygous recessive.